here's what it looks like. Over there on the right, you see all the connectors for the video that comes in from the 8 cameras that are in the car. You can see the 2 self-driving computers in the middle of the board, and then on the left is the power supply and some control connections. And so I really love it when a solution is boiled down to its barest elements. You have video, computing, and power, and it's straightforward and simple. Here's the original hardware 2.5 enclosure that the computer went into, and we've been shipping for the last 2 years. Here's the new design for the FSD computer. It's basically the same, and that, of course, is driven by the constraints of having a retrofit program for the cars. I'd like to point out that this is actually a pretty small computer. It fits behind the glove box, between the glove box and the firewall in the car. It does not take up half your trunk. As I said earlier, there's 2 fully independent computers on the board. You can see them there highlighted in blue and green. To either side of the large SoC, you can see the DRAM chips that we use for storage, and then below left, you see the flash chips that represent the file system. So these are 2 independent computers that boot up and run their own operating system.
Yeah, if I can add something, the general principle here is that any part of this could fail, and the car will keep driving. So you could have cameras fail, you could have power circuits fail, you could have one of the Tesla full self-driving computer chips fail, car keeps driving. The probability of this computer failing is substantially lower than somebody losing consciousness. That's the key metric, at least an order of magnitude.
Yep. So one of the things that additional thing we do to keep the machine going is to have redundant power supplies in the car. So one machine's running on one power supply and the other one's on the other. The cameras are the same, so half of the cameras run on the blue power supply, the other half run on the green power supply, and both chips receive all of the video and process it independently. So in terms of driving the car, the basic sequence is collect lots of information from the world around you. Not only do we have cameras, we also have radar, GPS, maps, the IMUs, ultrasonic sensors around the car. We have wheel ticks, steering angle. We know what the acceleration and deceleration of the car is supposed to be. All of that gets integrated together to form a plan. Once we have a plan, the 2 machines exchange their independent version of the plan to make sure it's the same. And assuming that we agree, we then act and drive the car. Now, once you've driven the car with some new control, you also want to validate it. So we validate that what we transmitted was what we intend to transmit to the other actuators in the car. And then you can use the sensor suite to make sure that it happens. So if you ask the car to accelerate or brake or steer right or left, you can look at the accelerometers and make sure that you are, in fact, doing that. So there's a tremendous amount of redundancy and overlap in both our data acquisition and our data monitoring capabilities here.